Good morning and welcome to FlossTube number 13. My name's Christine. I am CMD586 on Instagram. So check me out over there. It's been a little over a month since I recorded a video. I knew it was going to be a while because I had some things going on, but I did intend to film last week and it just didn't happen. Just life got in the way. So here I am. It's been a full month really. Yeah, a little longer than a month since I recorded, which feels like too long. But I'm actually going to start off this video a little bit differently. A local, completely unrelated to CrossStitch thing has been on my mind. I just recently discovered a new coffee. I know lots of you like coffee. So this morning I am drinking my new favorite coffee. And it's by a local brewer, and I do like to support local small businesses, and you can totally order this this coffee online. So do if you are a coffee connoisseur like I am. It's from our local coffee brewing company, Heritage Coffee. I've never been a huge fan of Heritage, other than sort of liking to support a good local business that's been around a while. Their coffee has never particularly impressed me, but a friend of mine fed me this. Fed me. Like coffee's a food. For me, coffee's a food. A friend of mine fed me this recently. It's the Black Wolf Blend by Heritage Coffee Company in Juneau. They can be found at heritagecoffee.com. And it's my new favorite coffee. It is really good. It has almost like a chocolatey flavor to it. It's not a flavored coffee. There's nothing. It's just a light roasted whole bean coffee. Nothing weird added to it, but they've managed to get a very sort of chocolatey flavor regardless. That's very distinct, and so this is my new favorite coffee, and it's actually another reason I wanted to talk about it is because it is made in honor of the reason it's called the Black Wolf is because here in Juneau we had I think 2009. Oh, so it's been a while. Okay, so for several years we had a very special wolf in this town. We have wolves. We're in Alaska, and we have wolves, and mostly, they're best to be avoided and respected. But there was an unusual black wolf in this town that ended up being named Romeo because local people started calling him Romeo because he was a lover. Let me just show you some pictures of him. I'll show you some pictures right now. And I'm going to show you several pictures. So you can see that. You'd almost think that guy was a dog, right, with the way he's acting. But that's a wolf. And between 2003 and 2009, this wolf could be seen, and he would interact with local dogs out on the trails and out at our glacier, and it was just kind of an amazing experience, and books have been written about him. And unfortunately, in 2009, he disappeared, and shortly thereafter, it was found that he had been illegally shot by a couple of local assholes, basically, who were fined and given probation and lost their hunting licenses temporarily. And but yeah, basically they took something special from us. Anyway, this coffee was brewed in honor of him. There are books written about him. Nick Jans, a local photographer who I think sort of first developed a relationship with Romeo, was able to take a lot of pictures of him, get pretty close to him. He's written some books about him, so you can, and there's been some kids' books written about him, grown-up books about him. He's been featured in all sorts of stories and things like that. And so it's just a really neat story, and with a very sad ending, unfortunately. But you know, he's a part of Juneau history and culture, and he'll be remembered, I think, a long time. I mean, it's now been 9 years about since he was killed, and and it feels like it was just yesterday that we were hearing about Romeo sightings all of the time. Anyway, so there's my little local story, and really, really good coffee. So for you coffee connoisseurs out there, and I know there are lots of you, if you're looking for a new good coffee to try, it's kind of expensive. I can get it at my Costco here in Juneau for actually not a bad price. But if it's not, I don't know that it's available anywhere else at Costco. It might be like a Juneau only thing. But it is available online at a fairly hefty price. I think like 28 bucks or something for 2 pounds. So it's fairly expensive. And at my Costco, I think I paid like $17 or something. Pretty inexpensive. But those are local prices. But you know, good coffee is worth paying for. I've bought much more expensive coffee before. One of my other favorites is Kicking Horse, and Kicking Horse is pretty expensive. I pay more than this for that. So, but anyway, good coffee for those of you who care. Okay, now on to the stitching stuff for you, those of you who don't care. Okay. Oh, so I wanted to give a shout out to Drew at Weasley Studios. I think it's his last video. I don't think he's put up one since, but recently he was banned from Stash Unload, which I still frequent and will continue to frequent until they kick me out. But I'll never sell there. They're a pain in the ass to sell from. And anyway, Drew put up a video, you know, ranting about his very bad experience with Stash Unload and how they kicked him out, basically, and he got 35 thumbs down on that video, which doesn't surprise me at all. But anyway, if you haven't seen it, go watch Drew's latest video and maybe express a little sympathy. Stash Unload is like a well, I want to say a necessary evil, but not a necessary evil, but an evil I am willing to put up with, as long as there are many people on there selling things at a good price, and I'm able to find things that I want on there. I will probably continue to patronize Stash Unload. I will never try to sell there again, though. I have sold something on there, and I did manage it successfully, but only because each time I sold something, I think I've sold 2 things on there. Each time I sold something, I was selling just the one item, like, at a time. And so I didn't have to deal with all their stupid... They're extremely picky with their rules. They have a crazy number of rules. And fortunately, I was able to sell it quickly and not have to go through the rigmarole of, okay, the first person who asks a question, then you have to wait, you know, and you can't sell it to anybody else until you've given them 24 hours to, you know, contemplate whether they want it or not after you answer their question. And, you know, I just want to go on there and be like, first come, first serve, you know, and I don't want to follow all their stupid rules. And they're really picky over there. But I will continue to purchase from them as long as they will allow me to, and unless they get a load of this video and kick me out because I'm friends with Drew. But I will just, that's fine, whatever. So anyway, go check out Drew. He always puts out a good video, and I enjoy his little rants. I will not be joining his general boycott, but because I want the stuff that's on there sometimes, and I like to look. But I will never try to sell on that site again. There's easier places to sell, and honestly, they're getting a pretty bad reputation now. A lot of people have been kicked out, and a lot of people have had a lot of problems, and been pretty vocal about it. I'm surprised that they continue to have so many members, and that there are other places to sell, but no place else yet has really, like, sort of taken over. But I think they probably will eventually. Those if the Stash Unload like, and I'm probably gonna get a ton of like thumbs down for what I'm saying on this video too. And again, I don't care. But the admins over there, man, you know, I know that with big sites and stuff that rules are necessary, and I applaud, you know, active admins who make efforts to reduce things like copyright infringement and keep people nice and stuff like that. But to be so extraordinarily picky and try to police what your people, the sellers, do on there to the extent that they do, and like to basically say you're not allowed to sell anywhere else, is just bull, you know. It's not worth the trouble. They're not the only game in town. They're not the only place to sell stuff. So I will not be trying to sell there. But as long as there's a lot of people selling stuff on there that I like, I will probably continue to buy there. So anyway, go watch Drew. We all love Drew. Go give him a thumbs up. Anyway, I don't think he cares about all those thumbs down either. And I don't either. Thumb me down. Go ahead. See if I care. Okay. Oh, and then, okay. So ABC Stitch Therapy, they have a bad reputation, right? So, but there might be some good news on the ABC Stitch Therapy front. So in one of my smaller groups, you know, they have a bad reputation online. Apparently they're good from a local standpoint, but online they're not great. And I've ordered from them twice in over the years, and I don't, until I hear that I should try them again from other people, I will not be ordering from them again, because my experiences with them were horrible. My stuff took literally months to get here, and when I tried to ask them about it, they were pretty rude in their responses. Like, basically I was being ridiculous for wondering how come things were taking like 7, 8, 10 weeks to arrive. And they didn't want to communicate, and there's no indication of what they actually have in stock and what they are ordering from you, or how long it's going to take for them to order things. I work as a, I've said it before, I work in a bookstore. I work in a small local bookstore in Alaska, and I know it takes time to get stock. But you know, when people order something from us on our website, you know, when local customers come in, they either buy stuff on the shelf or we encourage people to order from us. And we are upfront with them when they place an order. We say it will take X amount of time to get here. If it's going to take any longer, Christine will call you and let you know. And I do. I call people. If something's going to take more than the usual estimated time to arrive at the store, I call people and I say, this is a little harder to get, or the publisher or distributor's out of it. It's going to take us a little longer, whatever. You know, I call and I say, you know, it's going to be an extra couple of weeks, or we might not be able to get it all, or I don't know when it's going to be here, or whatever. I communicate with people. Well, they don't communicate with people over at ABC Stitch Therapy, or at least they haven't been. And so anyway, there was a post. I haven't ordered from them in years and have really no intention of ordering from them again unless I hear that their reputation has substantially changed. But there was a post in my one of the smaller groups I'm in that I want to give the name of, because the group is small and I like it small. And there was a post about somebody saying, you know, it's not, what's going on with ABC Stitch Therapy? Should I not have ordered from them? It's been, you know, it's been several weeks since I ordered from them, and I haven't heard anything, and my stuff hasn't arrived, and is this typical? And I said, oh yeah, you know, last I knew they sucked. And several other people responded accordingly. And it occurred to me, I was kind of like wondering, is the word not really out? Like, I feel like everybody knows that they are bad. And so anyway, I went and I visited their Facebook site, and I kind of looked at their reviews, and their star rating was kind of high, like higher than I thought it should be. But I looked at their reviews, and but when you get into the reviews, you see several people, you know, put 5 stars, and then whole bunches of like 1 and 2 stars of basically saying, they don't talk to me, I ordered, they never send my stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then I made a comment on one of the reviews, one of the more recent reviews, saying, oh yeah, you know, this is kind of a typical experience. And then I didn't write a review, but I gave them a 1-star rating, because I'll never order from them again. And I think that deserves a 1-star rating. And you know, I just figured I'd put in my 2 cents. And Because I feel like, you know, people should know that they kind of suck when it comes to online ordering, and that they're not very polite, and that they don't want to communicate with you and stuff like that. And to my surprise, within a couple of hours, I got a Facebook message from what is supposedly the new manager at ABC Stitch Therapy. I don't know how new is new. Some of these complaints that I've been hearing are pretty recent, so it may not be, she's either very, very new or has not rectified things at this point. But basically she expressed, you know, she apologized for my previously bad experiences, and, you know, wanted to discuss with me, you know, so basically I had a little conversation with her, and which basically I gave her the idea that no, you know, really at this point there's nothing you can do to get my business, because I've been so burned in the past by you that, and there's other places for me to go, so I just am not interested in trying you out again. It's not worth it. And she said basically that she was working to improve things. So you know, that's maybe a good thing if they're under new management. I didn't ask her how long she'd been there to compare like some of the more recent negative, like December, January complaints I've been hearing from people. I mean, if she's really, really new, maybe it will result in some changes, or maybe she just needs some time to like work through the crap. And, you know, so I have a lot of sympathy for this new manager. It's very possible that the things will improve, and I'm hopeful that they will. Nevertheless, I'm done with them until I hear other people say, hey, they have really gotten better. So, but maybe they will. So anyway, I thought that was very interesting that I was happy that she, because unlike the previous person, she actually cared to communicate with me, and she was polite and not snarky, not a she was, you know, saying all the right things, and so maybe they will be a good source to order from in the future. But for now, I'm staying away still. So okay, all right, enough of the negative stuff. I feel like that was a whole load of negative stuff, but anyway, but I don't care, whatever. So stuff I got. So now, you know, I said I'm not buying stuff. And I'm mostly, like, I'm okay. I did get some stuff. But one thing I got, I had already had on order from previously, and it just took me a while to get. It was a book I needed to get through. I was getting through my bookstore, and the distributor was out for a little while, and it took a while for me to be able to get it. And I had basically mentally committed to buying it, and I wasn't going to not. And then I also got my first batch of threads from Trish at 3 Off Threads, and I said I wasn't going to discontinue that subscription service. And then I did splurge on something else, but my husband and I, our anniversaries are our anniversaries. We have the same anniversary. Our wedding anniversary is February 24th, and of course there's also Valentine's Day. And he and I, like, we don't like to go out to eat and stuff. That's not like how when we spend time together, it's usually free. So we decided that that we would just spend some time together on our anniversary, and that the money we spent, we would just give each other some funds to spend on stuff he's going to buy. I think he's going to buy some records or something. He's really interested in, like, vinyl right now. And I had some, of course, stitching money to spend. So I did get some stuff. And so let me show you what I got. I got the Michael Powell 20 to Stitch mini cross-stitch book. This is like his Christmas one, only it's not Christmas. And I actually like it a lot better than the Christmas one. There are several things I'll do in the Christmas one. I would like to have some Michael Powell, at least one Michael Powell Christmas ornament hanging on my Christmas tree at some point. But I think where he really shines is with his, like, village scenes. Let me try to show you some things without showing you patterns. So, like this. This is the kind of stuff I like of his. The full coverage with the building and the sky and, you know, stuff like that. And there are several of those in here. There's also some flowers and some other things. Mostly smallish full coverage pieces. A couple of borders. Oh, here's a mountain cottage. A mountain cottage. So that kind of stuff. I really like that stuff. So there's 7 or 8 pieces in here that I would really like to stitch. Including, of course, the now famous Fancy Outhouse garden shed that we're calling Fancy Outhouse. Fancy Outhouse, there it is. Anyway, so I'm excited about that. That finally came in. Then I got my threads from Trisha. I am doing the 10-yard skein, Gentle Art, the Gast 10-yard skeins. And I'm happy to say she's doing them in alphabetical order, which is kind of nice. Like, it's kind of an easy way for me to keep track of what she sent me, what I have and what I don't have when she sends things, when she's doing this alphabetically. That makes it easy. I don't have to, like, if I'm going and saying, do I need to buy something, it'll be easier for me to determine what I have and don't have. So we're in the A's. These are all A's. So I'm not going to keep them in alphabetical order when I show you, but I'm going to show them to you. So we have avocado. Look at those beautiful yellow greens. Color looks pretty good on this camera too. So you're getting a pretty good representation. Amethyst. It's purples, but it's kind of grayish and brownish purple almost. I don't know that I would necessarily call that amethyst, but that's okay. It's very pretty. Acorn. Just a good medium dark brown. These are the 10-yard skeins. Antique lace. I really like this one. Kind of creams and brown, light browns and beiges. I like that one a lot. Apricot blush. Adobe. Antique rose. Autumn leaves. I like those. I like that. Apple cider. And here's a color I already know I really like, aged pewter, and now I'm happy to have more of it. This is used a lot in my, look how beautiful that is. I love that. That was used a lot in my Snow White primitive hair piece, and I'm happy to have even more of it. I already had some left over, but I can envision using a lot of that for something. I don't know what, but it seems like a very useful thread. Okay, so you know, I've been raving about a pattern called Haunted Christmas. And on February 2nd, I go to, whether I have the money to spend or not, I go to 123 Stitch and I click on their new thing and their cross-stitch patterns, and sometimes their kits too. But I pay close attention to their new tab. I go to new and I go to cross-stitch patterns and I look at everything that they have added recently. And on February 2nd, the date sticks out in my mind, they added a crap ton of wonderful things to their website. So go check it out, because I think they can still be found on the new thing as of today. And they added the stuff from Sarah Gormani, and they added Haunted Christmas. So, which I had been like thinking, oh, okay, if I go, she's in Italy and I'm gonna have to either pay, you know, a little bit too much to have it shipped from Italy and wait, or I can do a PDF, which would be fine, but I like to have a physical pattern. I really like to have physical patterns for a couple of reasons. Even though I only do things once, I really do like to give away, resell occasionally, but you know, more often just give away, share my stash with others, and you can't do that with a PDF pattern. And so the physical pattern lets you actually give it away. So they put these on 123 Stitch, and when my husband and I decided we were just going to spend money for our anniversary, this is what I bought. So, and and I still have some money to spend. But I didn't want to get the fabric. I had some thoughts about the fabric, but I didn't want to get the fabric until I saw the dimensions on the pattern and got a better look at it. It's all DMC, and they tell you how the stitch count there. So I'm gonna get a fat half of, I think, birch. Looking at this model, it looks like birch is awfully close to Birch by Zweigart. It's not a hand dyed, just a Zweigart color. It looks like birch is awfully close to what they used on the model from looking at the whites and stuff. So I think birch would be good. And it's one of my sort of go-to neutrals. And I would get a full yard, except just because it's kind of a staple for me, birch. But and I would for sure use it on other things. But right now, because I'm not supposed to be spending extra money, I ordered this morning because this just came in today. I ordered this morning. I ordered a fat half of 40 count birch to do this project on, and it's all DMCs, so that's good. There's no 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. About 20, 24 or so, 22 to 24 DMCs. So not much. So I'm going to have the materials to do this in very short order. So I'm really excited about that because I need another big giant pattern, like I need another hole in my head, but I don't care. It is 278 by 263, so it's big. So, but I'm so excited about this. Look at all those Halloween witches and, you know, Santa. And it's just so unique. The idea of like, what are witches doing at Christmas time? I just love it. I'm excited about it. Oh, and also, I also on the same 1, 2, 3 stitch order, I got a couple of Christmassy variegated threads because, I was debating. I started doing the Brooks Books Advent calendar animals, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do the border in just the plain red and white. I ended up going with what Brooke did and just using the 321 and the Blanc for the border on the Advent animals. But I thought for a minute I was going to use something else. So I went to 1, 2, 3 stitch and I got a couple, looked for Christmas-y like variegated threads, because I thought it might be kind of nice to just do one variegated thread around the border. But I ended up just going, you know, Brooke Nolan is a brilliant designer, and I just decided instead of you know, going with the variegated thread, I was mainly choosing the variegated thread because I thought it'd be easy, just go around, because I decided to alter the border. I'm doing what a lot of people have done, which is convert it to full crosses instead of the 3 strands back stitch she did. I just felt like it would look better. So, but I decided not to, and I thought it would be just easier to deal with that if I was doing a variegated thread that I didn't have to switch out. And so that was my thinking. So I ordered Threadworks. I forget what this is called because they don't put the oh, this is interesting. I'm just looking at this label because they don't put the color on here. You can see the color online. It's number 1087. Ooh, look at that though. That's very Christmassy, red and white, right? It's number 1087, but it says 10 yards polyester metallic. This is not metallic. Isn't that strange that they're calling it metallic? Anyway, polyester thread. And then, yeah, that's weird. Oh, yeah. What the hell? This is like the completely wrong label. This is what I wanted, but it says Krynic Tapestry number 12 braid, artisan dyed, 10 yards polyester metallic. I'm gonna have to look closely at my other Threadworks flosses that I have, do they all say that craziness on them? Because this is for sure not Kreinik metallic. The rest of it's correct. Like, I think 10087 is the correct number for this, and it's Threadworks. Why on earth does it say Kreinik Tapestry number 12 braid? This is for sure not a metallic base braid. This is like cotton. This is cotton floss, or maybe polyester, but it's, you know, it feels like DMC. I don't know. It's just weird. Okay, now I'm like totally thrown by that. I'm gonna have to investigate. Or maybe somebody can tell me if you have some idea about why this label is so bizarre. And then I got, as an alternative, I got the DMC 4250, the DMC Coloris 4250. You know, very Christmassy looking, red, green, white. Okay, so that is all the stuff I got. What's next on my list? Okay, I am going to do a giveaway today. I'm going to do that I'm not going to do the actual giveaway. I'm going to announce the giveaway. So stay tuned for that. That'll be at the very end of the video, past the stash. So hold on for that. First, though, I'm going to do, I need some coffee. I've been talking for 30 minutes. This is ridiculous. And yeah, it's cold now. I don't care. I'll drink coffee, cold, hot, don't care. Okay, so let's look at my whips. Oh, crap. I forgot to bring one. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so, I finished Wanda's Witchery. Look at that. That is so great. Okay, and you may be thinking I'm going to do a past the stash on this, and I am, but not this video. I would like to with this one. I'm going to hold the past the stash on this one until I have, like, at least one more something that goes along with it, since it's such a small thing. Either something else Halloween and give them both away at the same time, or maybe one or two more Mill Hill patterns that I can give away at the same time. So that will eventually happen, but I'm not going to do the past the stash on that this time. So there is that. And anyway, I'm going to show you a picture of what it looked like before. And now it's finished. So I did quite a lot in the last, well, it's about a month. So I did quite a lot. So there is that. Next I started something new, because I always start new things. Sorry, I'm gonna bend down and find it. Oh, here we go. I started a DesignWorks kit. I don't know what it's called. Stitching ABCs, handmade ABCs, I don't know. So here is, I'm just seeing, well, maybe they don't call it anything. Yeah, Stitching ABC is what they call it. And this is it. This is a picture of what it'll look like when it's finished. I am doing it 1/1 on 28 count, I believe is what I'm doing. Because I wanted it to be, because I'm into 1/1 these days, and I wanted it to be really delicate. So there it is, just on white, 28 count. I got the first section completely done, and a good chunk of the second section. And then I didn't get burnt out, but I just really wanted to do something else. Other things were calling to me, and so I felt I had to stop. So I did. So the next thing I worked on was my Beagles kit. God, I love this Beagles kit. They're so cute. And I love Riolas. Again, if you haven't watched my video that says, several videos back says Riolas, go watch my Riolas video, because Riolas kits are awesome. Sort of. Awesome with some reservations. Man, love me the Beagles. And I got a lot done on this, and then I did burn out. If I hadn't burned out, I would have just kept going. But man, look at those. Oh man, I'm falling down on the job here. Here's a picture of what it looked like before. And again, here's where it is now. These guys are so darling, and that wool thread is so beautiful, and this Zweigart Ada is awesome, and it's just wonderful. And my friend Carla Eldridge has volunteered to help me make this into a pillow when it's done, which I will probably take her up on. Yeah, and anyway, these guys are just so cute. I love them. And look at that. Look at that. I was not excited about that suitcase. And it's not done. There's some gaps where I haven't filled in all of that. But look how beautiful and real that is. This really looks like a painting. I mean, it's really, those wool threads, it's amazing the colors, the color combinations, and the subtleties and just the softness and stuff that the wool threads give. It's really a worthwhile experience stitching with those wool threads. Okay, sorry. I got some stuff on the floor here. Advent animals. So I started and finished the first 3 of the Brooks Books Advent animals. I'm doing them on 32 count Millennium by Zweigart, which I believe is a really good blue, and it's a discontinued color, but I have a yard of it that I stumbled upon on eBay. And I'm going to do all 25 of these on that, and I think I have enough of it to do that. And these took me, they take about 2.5 days, because each time I've started one, I've sort of started it towards the end of the evening when I'd worked on other things, and then worked on it all the next day. Not all day, but my whole stretch of stitching time, which is usually 4 to 5 hours in a given day, and then finished them up the 3rd day. So they don't really take 3 full days of stitching, but that's how it's happened, is 3 days. These days I'm keeping track of every single day I work on a project this year, because I said before, I'm kind of not doing the Whipocalypse thing I said I was going to do. I'm doing what I said I was going to do, but I think I'm going to withdraw from like the Whipocalypse Sal group, because I don't really feel like participating in the Sal part of it, you know. That feels like pressure and have to for me. But what I am enjoying is just the record keeping and keeping track for myself, and making notes about what I'm working on every day and how many stitches I'm putting in and that sort of thing. That gives me a lot of pleasure. But the feeling of obligation to update on the Facebook group and stuff like that is not going so well for me. So I think I'm going to like withdraw from that group. But I am still doing what I planned. And so this is interesting to me, because I'm counting the stitches I'm making. And these guys take about 1,000 or so stitches a piece. The first one took me 1,059 stitches. And the third one took me 1,059 stitches, and the second one took me 1,100 and some stitches. So anyway, I thought it was very interesting that the first and third one were identical in terms of stitches. And of course, your mileage may vary, because I count stitches as I make them. And in this case, I'm doing the border differently than Brooke designed. And then when I do the back stitching, I count the stitch I make. So in some cases I'm doing long stitches, in some cases I'm doing single space back stitching. You know, it just kind of depends on what works for me, and that's how I'm counting, is how I'm doing the stitches. So you know, there've been events where I had to count like every stitch, you know, like the CrossStitch Finish Line, the stitch-a-thongs that they do, you count every stitch. Now, they only let you, a back stitch is only counted as a half a stitch, like you have to do 2 back stitches to count as 1 stitch, and you have to do, if you're doing half stitches, you have to do 2 half stitches to count as 1 stitch. So it all kind of evens out to theoretically, the length of time it would take you to do a full cross. So you have to have those, but for my purposes, for my own sort of picky OCD-ish record keeping stuff, I'm counting the stitch as I do it regardless. And then I just have to divide by 2 if I'm trying to participate in the stitch-a-thon, which I love the stitch-a-thon. So, so it's a little bit fussy trying to like count for my purposes and then make sure I'm subtracting appropriately for the stitch-a-thons. But I love it and I'm doing it anyway. But anyway, I've always enjoyed whenever I've been forced to count stitches for an event or something. A lot of people say, oh my gosh, counting stitches, that's too hard. I love it. I love sitting there and counting every stitch I make. It gives me that extra sense of accomplishment, like a real, especially since cross stitch is such like slow gratification and you can't always see a difference in what you're doing. I mean, sometimes you can, but sometimes you don't really see much of a difference in what you're doing. But you can say, okay, I put in 100 stitches, so that is something. Even if it doesn't look like anything, it is something, it counts. And so I get a great deal of enjoyment out of counting when I have to for those events that I've just decided to just do it all the time for myself. So, and I just like keeping the record. So anyway, here's my 3 finishes. So I finished 4 things this year so far and for this video. And they're all little things, but I have finished 4 things. So here is the first Brooks Books Advent Animal. And I'm going to finish these as individual flat ornaments to hang on my Christmas tree. So there is the first one. Look at that. She is so cute. Oh, she's so cute. The second one. And this one was more solid stitching, so this is the one that had more stitches in it. And you know, that was a lot of white. Got a little tired of the white after a while. There it is. But I love his, I love the steam coming out of the hot cocoa. And I love his sort of ugly Christmas sweater. He is cute. And he just looks so happy. His expression is just that he's so happy. And this one, here we go. The ballerina mouse, like the nut from, presumably from like the Nutcracker. Number 3. So those guys are just so cute. So those are my first finish this year was the Wanda Wood Tree. Second, third, and fourth are these. And so there are 4 finishes this year so far. Counting finishes is weird because you know, some of them are really small and some of them are really big. So say you have 4 finishes this year, you know, sounds really great, but you know, these took me less than 3 days each. So I feel like it doesn't really count, but you know, whatever. And then I put in, okay, I'm going to show you the darn picture here. Here's a picture of what it looked like before. Before I forget. Gracious Era. I put in, okay, and here's what it's going to look like when it's done. I put in quite a little bit of work, only a few days worth, but I got quite a bit done because most of it's half stitches in Gracious Era. This is a Dimensions gold kit that I'm doing on 36 count Arial by Picture This Plus. And here is where I'm at. Sorry about the hanging thread, but I'm going to be working on this later today. And I went ahead and did the back stitching on those 2 little people there. So they are completely finished. So, anyway, I love this one. This is just great. Great, great, great. Couldn't be happier. And it's going to be really beautiful. This fabric is great for it. And I don't feel bad that it's a hand dye. To replace the really cheap cloth fabric that came with the kit. I'm loving every second of working on it. Okay, and I thought I would show you, since I've done a significant amount of stitching this year, thought I'd show you my new Ort stitch, what I call my Ort stitch. I've talked about this before, but here's my new one. So I'm doing it in 5x5 blocks. And I don't know if you can see on here or not. You see a little bit of a shine. But every time I switch projects, I'm using 2 strands of Kreinik blending filament to outline where one project starts and one project begins, so that and I can see it very well in person, so that I can really see the different projects on here, and I can. Don't know if you can, but I can. And in most cases I can go, oh, I think I know where that's from. You know, this bottom stretch down here last few rows down here are all from the different Advent animals. All those, they're very similar colors. She uses quite a few of the same colors from animal to animal. And so that's where I'm at on my Ort stitch. I lost my train of thought there, but that's okay. Okay, so now, not to pass the sash just yet. I'm going to do that at the very end. But I just learned about something I got to have. I'm not going to... Yeah, I did order it. I did order it because I had a moment of weakness. So, so this is I'm kind of being bad. Veronique Enganger, a French designer. I don't even know if she's still alive, but there are books of hers, cross-stitch books of hers available, you know, through eBay, used off of Amazon, etc. That I've seen other people show, and I've been like, oh, I gotta have that. But I have never gone through the trouble of ordering them before. Well, I work in a bookstore, as I've said many times at this point, and I was on a publisher's website, and on their front page, they were advertising a brand new Veronique Enganger cross-stitch pattern book, and I was like, oh, what the hell? You know, brand new. Anyway, and it's not brand new. It's a brand new book, but it's, you know, a reissue of older patterns. But I don't have any of them, so that's great. And it turns out they're in March, they're putting out two new books. Schiffer Publishing is putting out 2 new books of old patterns by Veronique Enganger. And here is a picture of each of their covers. I was able, through the publisher website, it's Schiffer Publishing, SCHIFFER Publishing. If you Google schifferpublishing.com, you can find it. And I was able to look at a few of the pictures in there, and you can see like 5 pictures on the publisher's website of inside the book. And I could not, like, I don't care that I don't have any money. I'm spending it anyway because I have to have these books, and in particular the fairy tales one looks great. So I'm just really, really excited, and I will probably do a flip through of those when they come in. The publishing date on them isn't until March, but I pre-ordered them, and I don't think they have a strict on sale date, so I may get them significantly early, because the distributor had them in stock, and there was no indication of it like a street date. You know, ever since Harry Potter, Scholastic started this, I won't say stupid because I like it. They started the strict on sale / street date thing, which has a good intention. The idea was that places like Amazon and Costco and other big outlets like Barnes & Noble and stuff like that would not basically get all the copies, gobble up all the copies, and be able to sell them super fast before anybody else could even get on board. And, you know, basically the idea is to make it so that everybody, small bookstore in Alaska, bookstore in New York City, etc., everybody would have time to get their stock of the books, and then you wouldn't be allowed to sell it until a certain date, so that everybody got to sell at the same time. And I totally applaud that, doing that in the case of big releases, you know, like Harry Potter. But now it has become this thing in the publishing industry where almost everything has a stupid strict on sale day. And I say stupid because it is stupid. In the case of many titles, people don't care. You don't care if, you know, it's not a big deal about, you know, these authors, many authors out there. It's not like, they're not J.K. Rowling, they're not James Patterson, they're not John Grisham, they're not a huge deal, and it doesn't matter. A strict on sale date is just rigmarole. It's just, you know, hoops to jump through, you know, things to sign that says you agree you will not sell this book early, and where the distributors won't ship it to you early, and you know, you get it on hand, but you got to hold on to it and make your customers wait because you can't show sales on it before such and such a date. It's become like almost every book now has a strict on sale date, and it's dumb. It's not dumb when it comes to the big releases and making sure that small stores don't have a great disadvantage over the giants, and stores in certain regions that are like closer for shipping purpose don't have a great advantage over other stores. And that, like, if you're in Alaska, your customers don't end up going all to Amazon to buy their books because they can get them faster than they can get them from you, because they can't get them faster than they can get them from you because of these strict on sale dates. So I applaud that, but I think it's stupid when it comes to like every book now under the sun practically having a strict on sale date. Fortunately, Schiffer Publishing has not glommed on to that yet, and so I think I'm going to have these you know, within a couple of weeks. So that makes me happy, and I will show them when I get them. All right, so gosh, that was a rant. but that's okay. I'm already getting some thumbs down on this video, I'm quite certain. So I might as well do them all at once, right? Anyway, okay, past the stash. So, I recently did, like, I don't know, semi-recent finish. I finished my Lovely Are the Hours. I didn't bring it back here to show. I probably should have. But I did this Lovely Are the Hours, which is a lot more impressive in real life than, you know, let's see if I can go find it real quick. Okay, I'm back. So, this is mine. Lovely Are the Hours. It says, lovely are the hours spent in a garden of herbs and flowers. And I got this pattern for free, and I'm gonna give it away. Now, I got it with a embellishment pack, but fortunately this pattern comes with all the details. Unlike the Just Nan patterns, this pattern gives you a list of exactly what everything is and what everything you need, and they give you DMC conversions for it. And I believe, I looked this morning, and the needle necessities that it calls for, the overdyed flosses, all appear to me to still be available. So they're all listed on here, so you should be able to order them if you really want to. If you don't want to, you can like look at pictures of what they look like online and substitute your own other variegated floss that you want, or use the DMCs that they list. Personally, I think the DMCs conversions are pretty boring, because this is highly variegated floss, so you're really going to be losing something if you use DMCs. But you should be able to find good variegated flosses elsewhere to use on this pattern. And so they tell you everything you need. The butterfly and bee charms, they don't specify exactly what they are. It says gold-plated charms, 1 butterfly and 2 bees, so you may have to look. But those both, number one, the bees, although I really like them, they are not necessary. But the butterfly goes, the bees feel like, you know, they're not necessary. But, so if you can't find bees to put there, I think that's okay. And the butterfly goes there in the center of the wreath. There's a lot of things you could put in the center of that wreath that would look great. You don't need the butterfly. Butterflies are a dime a dozen. Who cares about butterflies? So there's a lot of possibilities for this. So this is not hard to kit up and do yourself, in my opinion. So anyway, when I talked about this, what can you say? So when I talked about this project, when I first was contemplating doing it, I talked about how I was irrationally terrified of bees. And so I would like to know in your comments if you want to be entered into this drawing. If you don't want to be entered into the drawing, please comment however you wish. But if you want to be entered into the drawing, please tell me about one of your irrational fears. If you don't want to tell me about one of your irrational fears, just tell me your irrational fears are none of your damn business. or whatever, and I'll still enter you into the drawing. But I would like to hear about some of other people's irrational fears, and if you choose to tell me. But if not, you know, just say something about fear, and I will figure you want to be entered into this giveaway, even if it's none of my damn business. Anyone 18 or over in anywhere in the world, I'm happy to send it. So don't say giveaway, don't say pass the stash. Just talk about being irrationally fearful over something or nothing. You can say, you know, you're a very logical, rational person. You don't have any rational fears. That's fine too. That'll get you entered into the giveaway too. So, anyway, do that. Tell me about that. And then, I am going to try to film 2 weeks from now. So let's say that, what's today? Today is the 12th. I think today is the 12th. 2 weeks from now, would be the 26th. Let's call the deadline for this Pass the Stash the 25th of February, because I will be trying to do a video on the 26th. So let me know about your irrational fears that you have or don't have before the 25th, and then I will do a drawing live from a cup on my next video. And I think that's it. I feel like there was something I missed, but I've talked an awful long time today. So anyway, I will see you all in a couple of weeks. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You're getting your mom set up. Okay. Hi, this is Christine doing FlossTube number gazillion than one. Today we're going to be looking at my latest project. It's a whip.
Hey Dad.
Number 57.
Where's the laundry from the bathroom?
Look at that. The numbers are backwards.
Where's the laundry from the bathroom?
Look, the numbers are backwards.
Dude, hello?
It's in the dirty laundry basket.
What dirty laundry basket?